Once upon a time, in a peaceful village where the wind carries the smell of roasted yam, lived a man whose name was spoken only in whispers. His name was Etop, a man so wicked even the cloud obeys his anger. When an elder dies and the people prepared for burial, Etop will come. "Pay me," he would say, "or the clouds will weep and your funeral will be washed away. And if they refuse, the sky will open and the dead will be buried in mud." For decades, the people paid, not to honor him, but to survive. One bright afternoon, the village gathered for a wedding. Music, laughter and joy filled the air, but Etop had not been invited. Suddenly, he appeared and stood at the edge of the crowd, eyes burning with pride and rage. He raised his hands to the sky and cursed the cloud. Loud crack of thunder. The first drop fell, then another, until the rain rolled down in sheets. The drummer's rhythm drowned in water. The dancers' feet sank into mud. And from moonlight night, the wedding was celebrated under the pouring rain. That day, joy was washed away by Etop's wrath. Many months later, Etop went to the stream to bathe. The road home was sandy from the dry season wind. His bicycle slid from under him and he crashed to the ground. In that same moment, the rumble of a lorry shook the earth and the driver did not see him. With a defending crash, the wheel crushed the life of the man who once ruled the earth. The news spread across the village. The villagers were so happy that the man who once troubled and terrified them were gone, not knowing that this was the beginning of their problem. No one wanted him buried in the village. They carried his body to the dreaded evil forest and buried him there. But the story was far from over. Etop's body never rested. One night, around 8 o'clock, the earth over his grave cracked. A dark wind shape rose from the soil. Etop has returned, not as a man, but as the shadow of a bird. He flew to his empty home, light flickering inside, but no living soul had ever lived there. At first, he came out 8 o'clock, then 7, then 6. It became a law. When the sun began to fade, everyone fled indoors. The terror has gone on too long. One evening, the king sent his messenger, gong in his hand, calling the elders to the palace. The great hall filled with elders and warriors. Faces were hard, eyes full of fear and anger. The king rose, his voice heavy.
"My people, this cause has tormented us for too long. Each evening, fear drives us into hiding, and a dead man walks where only the living should tread. Shall we allow Etop to rule even from the grave? No. Tonight, we stand together, elders, warriors, herbalists. We will march to the evil forest, dig him out, strike his powers, and end this madness. For if we do not rise as one, our children will grow up as slaves to ghosts.
The villagers paused for a moment, then beginning to sharpen their machetes. Torches were light. Hunters carried their spears. The herbalists wore beads and carried calabash filled with scared powders. And under the darkened sky, they marched to the evil forest. On getting to the grave, the elders began to dig, and then they saw him. His body was rotten from the neck down, but his head was alive, eyes blinking in the moonlight. They tried to strike, but the coffin closed back with a thunderous voice, and so the terror continued. After the coffin slammed shut, the fear in the village grew deeper. The king knew this was no ordinary spirit, and so he sent word far beyond hills to the land of Anna for a most feared herbalist in the region. The man arrived, draped in red and black cloth, his face marked with scared chalk. Behind him, his assistant carried charms, drums, and bags of powerful herbs. Prepare yourself. This will not be easy, he said. For 3 days they walked. 3 days of digging, chanting, and pouring scared powder into the earth. 3 nights of firelight, smoke, and the sound of the forest answering their call. On the 3rd night, the grave opened. They pulled Etop's body from the ground. His head turned, his burning eyes with hatred, but the herbalists did not flinch. With swift, scared strike, they cut off his head, his hands, his legs. Each part was buried in a different corner of the evil forest, sealed with charms. His head was wrapped in a white cloth and carried back to Anna, never to return. And from that day, the village knew